I pulled into the driveway in Newton, just outside Boston, expecting a full house for Thanksgiving. The place was dead silent. Inside, the house was cold. The only person there? My husband's stepfather, George, sitting alone in a rocking chair. Then I saw the note on the kitchen counter. My blood ran cold as I read my husband William's handwriting. Gone on a Caribbean cruise with Olivia, Mom decided to come too. You'll stay home and take care of George. He needs you. Back Monday. George opened one eye. He's not coming back till Monday, is he? My car was still packed with a pecan pie and a case of Sam Adams winter lager for the party. There was no party. My phone went straight to voicemail. Then a notification pinged. Instagram. It was a photo posted 2 days ago. William on a cruise ship, his arm around Olivia from his office. His mother, Clara, was in the background sipping a cocktail. The caption, New Beginnings, Caribbean Getaway with @William Mitchell and the fam. Family. I felt sick. This was calculated. This was evil. You ever felt that pit in your stomach? That feeling of pure betrayal? If you know what that feels like, hit that subscribe button right now so you never have to go through it alone. We've got a community here, and if you won't subscribe, maybe head to the comments and let us know why you'd side with someone like William. Find something interesting? George asked. I showed him the phone. My voice cracked. He said she was just a colleague. She's been in the picture at least 3 months, George said, his mind sharp. With shaking hands, I opened our joint bank app. 3 days ago, a $15,000 withdrawal. Our entire house down payment, gone. He took our savings, I whispered. They've been doing the same to me for years, George said. For my care. Meanwhile, the heat's turned down, and my medications are delayed. This wasn't just an affair. This was abandonment. They left us here to rot, I said. No, we deserve better. I grabbed my keys. I'm going to the store. We are having a proper Thanksgiving. When I got back, George had a stack of papers on the table. Evidence, he said. Bank statements, medical records, documented neglect. They think I'm just a burden waiting to die, he said. They don't know I've been watching them. Then he dropped the real bomb. He tapped a medical report. Terminal pancreatic cancer. 3 months, at most. He looked me dead in the eye. They think they left you with a burden. They've actually given us an opportunity. An opportunity for what? For justice, he smiled. He explained his plan. Help him document their betrayal, and he would ensure I was taken care of. The family who abandoned us would lose everything. I stared at this man I barely knew. We were 2 people, discarded by the same family. Yes, I said. Let's begin. He showed me his medical records. They all knew. Clara, William. They got the diagnosis and 2 days later started planning their break. But it was worse. We compared his prescriptions to the pills in the cabinet. They'd been diluting his pain medication. 1 pill instead of 2. Half doses to save a few bucks while they were planning a cruise. That's not neglect. That's abuse. Then he showed me his real assets. A hidden panel behind a painting. Investments Clara knew nothing about. Property in Vermont. Offshore accounts. Over $3 million. This house, he said, it's owned by one of my holding companies. They think they're inheriting it. They're not. The next morning, his attorney, Michelle, arrived. She was all business. So you're the abandoned daughter-in-law, she said. Victor called, said you were an unexpected ally. We got to work. We had to establish a narrative. We staged his rapid decline. Michelle's brother brought over medical props, an oxygen tank, IV stands, monitors. I used my old theater makeup skills to make George look gaunt, creating hollows under his eyes. The photos were startling. I sent them to William's sister, Madison. George had a difficult night, fever spiked, managing his pain. I backdated a medical log, faking temperature spikes, respiratory distress, everything. Was it wrong? I don't know. Was it more wrong than abandoning a dying man and stealing his money? Honestly, if you think what I did was wrong, don't subscribe. Go to the comments and tell me why. But if you're on my side, and you know that desperate times call for desperate measures, tap that subscribe button like your life depends on it, because sometimes it feels like it does. I called William and left a frantic voicemail, which George recorded. Victor's condition is deteriorating. The hospice nurse is concerned. Please call me. I really need your support right now. Then, a knock. It was the next-door neighbor, Mrs. Riley. She came with a casserole and all the tea. Been watching that family for years, she confided. The way they treat that poor man. Last month, George fell in the yard. Your husband was inside watching the Patriots and ignored our knocks. We even went to the bank. The manager, Mr. Thomas, greeted George warmly. Your stepson was in last week, he mentioned, asking about your accounts. In his office, George, with a shaking hand, signed the final papers, transferring control of his hidden assets to a new trust. That night, a video call came in from Madison. We staged the scene. George in bed, oxygen tubes in, breathing shallowly. I looked exhausted. Uncle George, Madison cried. Should we come home early? She asked. Is he gonna make it till Monday? It's hard to say, I whispered. His systems are shutting down. Let me talk to William and Mom, she said quickly. The thing is, these tickets were non-refundable and Mom's been so stressed. I nodded, fighting back pure disgust. We recorded the whole call. They made their choice. They chose a tan over their own family. It's a cold world, and the only way to stay warm is with people who get it. Hit subscribe and join the family that won't abandon you for a 7-day cruise. Don't want to? Fine. Prove me wrong in the comments. Tell me why they deserved another chance. Then, the irony hit. The next morning, George was worse. No acting. This was real. The hospice nurse, Diane, came. His organs are shutting down, she said gently. He has hours, maybe a day. Don't call them, George said, his voice firm. They made their choice, but call Michelle. It's time. Michelle arrived with a notary. George, with his last strength, signed the final will, explicitly disinheriting William and Clara for abandonment. Then he dictated a letter. The greatest pain in life, he said, is not illness or death, but the realization that those you loved saw you only as an obligation. He even recorded a 20-minute video testimony detailing the neglect, the stolen money, and his decision. Quinn showed me more dignity in 4 days than my family did in 4 years, he said to the camera. She is the only one who earned this. That evening, we drank a 50-year-old port he'd been saving. To justice, he toasted. To dignity, I replied. Around midnight, while I was reading to him, he just slipped away, peacefully. The next day I held the funeral. Mrs. Riley came, Mr. Thomas from the bank, many of his old friends. It was a beautiful service. Monday morning I waited. Around noon I heard them, laughing, car doors slamming. Honey, we're home, William called out, tan and smiling, dropping souvenir bags. His mother, Clara, breezed in. Olivia hovered behind him. William's smile died when he saw me in my black dress. What's with the funeral get-up? Clara demanded. Where's Dad? George passed away Saturday night, I said quietly. The bags dropped from William's hands. He died peacefully, I continued. The funeral service was yesterday. Many of your neighbors attended. You held the funeral without us? William stammered. You were invited, I said. I left multiple messages. You chose not to respond. Clara cut right to it. Did he change his will? Is that what this is about? Perhaps you should hear his words first, I said, and I read the letter. I watched their faces harden as George's words filled the room. This is ridiculous, Clara snapped. Some end-of-life rambling. He was perfectly lucid, I said. In fact, he made a video. This is all a setup, William sputtered, his face pale. She manipulated a dying man. William was squirming. You know that feeling when you finally have all the receipts and the person who wronged you has nowhere left to run? If you live for that moment of pure, unfiltered justice, smash that subscribe button. You belong here. If you're still holding out, I want you to go to the comments right now and tell me one good reason why this family shouldn't get exactly what's coming to them. As if on cue, the doorbell rang. It was Michelle, the attorney. Perfect timing. She placed her briefcase on the table. As executor of George Harmon's estate, I'm here to inform you of the provisions of his final will. William actually smirked. Michelle adjusted her glasses. The will is straightforward. George Harmon has left the entirety of his estate to Quinn Mitchell. The silence was deafening. That's impossible, Clara shrieked. The will explicitly cites abandonment and neglect, Michelle continued calmly. It has been witnessed, notarized, and certified by 2 physicians. What about our money? Clara demanded. The properties you currently occupy, including this house, Michelle said, belong to the Harmon Family Trust, which is now under Quinn's control. Furthermore, the accounts you've been drawing from are frozen pending an audit for financial abuse. They weren't just disinherited, they were homeless. What about our college funds? Madison, the sister, asked in a small voice. Michelle looked at William. George provided those funds to your father years ago. However, those accounts were never established. You spent our college money? Madison screamed at her brother. The family imploded. As they screamed at each other, Olivia, the mistress, quietly slipped out the front door. William followed me into the hall. His whole demeanor changed. Quinn, please, he begged, his voice breaking. I made a mistake with Olivia. We can work this out. I looked at this man I once loved. I saw him clearly for the first time. I calmly took off my wedding ring and placed it in his palm. You left him to die, I said. Now you get nothing, including me. I walked out the front door into the sunshine. Behind me, the voices of a family that had destroyed itself were already fading. They lost everything. I got justice for George and for myself. This world can be brutal, and you have to be strong to survive it. Don't be the one left behind. Subscribe to this channel right now and become part of a community that gets it. And for those of you still watching who didn't subscribe, I see you. And I have to wonder, what are you waiting for? Go tell me in the comments. I'll be reading.